Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Worshipdrumming. Before we get started, I do want to say if you want to keep up to date on videos when they're coming out or just general stuff that I like to post on Instagram, you can go over to Instagram and follow me there. It's just simply at Worshipdrumming. I'll put exactly what it is down below somewhere at the bottom of your screen so that way you can see. Go over there, give me a follow, and that will, usually what I do is a couple days before, the night before I post a video, I like to go ahead and put it out letting you guys know that the video is coming up. So if you go there right now, you'll see that I put a post that this video is coming out today, but it's actually yesterday right now when you're watching this. Anyways, okay, let's get into this. So we're going to do Never Stop Singing by Jesus Culture. This song is pretty straightforward and sort of easy on the drums. We have some interesting things going on, but it is a really fun song to play, and a lot of churches have started to do this song, so I decided that this would be a good one to do. We have recently put this one in our set list and have done it a few times, and it's kind of a lot of fun to do. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and put the camera behind me and we're going to break this down step by step. Getting right into this, there's only a few beats that we really need to be able to play to get through this song. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward on the drums, nothing too complex, but we do have a couple weird things thrown in there. A lot of the beats we're going to be playing are actually pretty similar to each other. This first beat that we're going to play is held throughout most of the song, and this is going to be used for the verse, also the first pre-chorus, almost every turnaround section, and the song is also going to start with this beat. So this is a very important one to know to get this song down. We're also going to be playing something very similar to this beat in the chorus, so very important we know how to play this. It is pretty straightforward and not too difficult. I'll play it for you and then we'll break it down piece by piece. What we have going on here is 16th notes being played on the hi-hat, alternating right, left, or left, right, depending on what your dominant hand is. For me, it's my right, so I always start with my right. We're just counting 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. The kick drum is going to fall on beats 1 and 3. So if we add that with the hands, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Next, let's talk about those snare hits that we have that are kind of weird. We're going to be hitting our snare drum on 2, which will be with our right hand as it falls right in line with that pattern. And then we're going to be hitting the snare drum on the of 3 and the E of 4. So that first hit with our right hand is just like normal. We're always hitting the snare drum on 2, usually. Then the left hand is going to be playing the 16th note before beat 4 and the 16th note after beat 4. Let's look at it real slow. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Notice that the left hand is coming down to hit both those hits back to back. It's not hitting, running back up to the hi-hat and then coming back down. It's going to stay down there, and we're still going to do that alternating right, left pattern. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Let's go ahead and play that with the metronome up to speed. The BPM for this song is 112, and I'll have the metronome on 8th notes. So the most difficult part of that beat might be overcoming that BPM, but just practice it slow and build your way up to it. Let's talk about what's going on in the choruses now. In the choruses, we're going to be holding pretty much the exact same thing, except we're going to have a 2-bar phrase here. So our hands are still going to be alternating that right, left, 16th notes, except now we're going to lift the hi-hat up, and it's going to be more of a washy hi-hat whenever we alternate and play those. The kick drum is now going to move to 4 on the floor, and it's going to stay that way through both bars. So through both bars, we'll have the 16th notes on the hi-hat and 4 on the floor going on the kick drum. Now let's talk about where things are going to change between the 2 bars. The first bar, we are going to hit the snare drum on 2 and 4 with our right hand. I'll show you what that will sound like. So we have 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a. On the second bar, we are going to play the snare pattern we did just a moment ago when we were talking about the verse. That will be 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1. 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1. When we put both of them together and play the first one, then the second one right after, we get something like this. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. I'll go ahead, put the metronome on, and we'll play it up to speed. Have to talk about is the second pre-chorus. The second pre-chorus, we are going to drop into a 4 on the floor and then play a 16th note snare drum roll building up into the chorus. So when that second pre-chorus starts, we're going to just drop the 4 on the floor. So that'll just be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to start pretty much halfway through that pre-chorus, we're going to start a 16th note roll on our snare drum. So what our hands are playing on the hi-hat, we're just going to move it down to the snare drum and just play 16th notes. Important thing here is that you crescendo these 16th notes. So what that means is we're going to start off soft and we're going to gradually build it up. I'll show you what I mean. So this is what it will sound like. The 16th notes started off soft and they slowly went up. A 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a... I'll go ahead and play it one more time for you at speed so you can get an idea of what it's going to sound like. As you're getting to the end of that build, you want to play some fills, something around the snare and toms before you go back into that chorus. It really can be whatever you want it to be. I don't like to teach specific fills necessarily because fills are really a time where a drummer can get creative and do their own thing. Lastly, let's go ahead and talk about this bridge. So there's going to be a little instrumental section before we go into the first bridge. Instrumental section and the first bridge are going to have the exact same beat carried out through both of them. And then once the bridge comes around for the second time, we're going to change things up a little bit. But for now, let's just talk about that instrumental section and the first bridge. We're going to hold down 4 on the floor through both those sections and then play this little fancy thing on the toms. I'll play it for you, then we'll break it down. So the first bar there is just 4 on the floor, and the second bar, starting on the and of 3, we just play 4 16th notes, alternating right, left, on the rack tom, followed by 3 16th notes, alternating right, right on the floor tom. If I were to count it out real slow, it'd be like this. 1, 2, 3, and a 4, E, and a 1. 1, 2, 3, and a 4, E, and a 1. And you're trying to do that while you're holding down that 4 on the floor. So if I were to put both bars together, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and a 4, E, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and a 4, E, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and a 4, E, and a 1. I'll go ahead and play that with the metronome so you can see what it's going to sound like up to speed. the last thing we have to learn is the second time bridge. Second time bridge, we're still holding down 4 on the floor, and we're actually still going to keep that fancy tom thing exactly where it's at on the second bar. We're just going to throw in a few new hits on the first bar and a couple on the second bar. I'll go ahead and play it for you real quick, and then we'll break it down. So let's talk about that first bar. The first bar, once again, just holding down 4 on the floor. Now on the of 1, with our left hand, we're going to hit our rack tom. And then on the and of 2, we're going to hit the rack tom and floor tom at the same time. So those first 2 beats would be 1, a 2, and. Once again, that's 1, a 2, and. And then on beat 4, we're going to play the snare drum with the floor tom at the same time. So now all together we have this. 1, a 2, and 3, 4. 1, a 2, and 3, 4. 1, a 2, and 3, 4. So that is the first bar. And now the second bar, we're going to do something very similar. We're going to keep the of 1 on the rack tom, and we're going to keep the and of 2 on the floor tom and rack tom. And then on the and of 3, we're still going to carry out that little tom thing we did a second ago. 1, a 2, and 3, and a 4, and a 1. A 2, and 3, and a 4, and a 1. Now, if we combine both bars together and do them real slow, it'd be like this. 1, a 2, and 3, 4. Second bar, 1, a 2, and 3, and a 4, and a 1. A 2, and 3, 4. 1, a 2, and 3, and a 4, and a 1. Now there's one last thing we have to talk about. The very end of the bridge, there's this little sort of tag that happens. And the lyrics go, never gonna stop, and then goes right into the chorus. On that never gonna stop, you're gonna play a flam on beat 3, which is literally when the word stop is. You're going to play that flam, and then you're going to literally stop and wait till beat 1 comes around to explode into that chorus groove. What that would look like, counting it out, would be this. 1, a 2, and 3. 1, a 2, and 3. 1, a 2, and 3. And then you go right into the chorus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play the second time bridge for you with that little thing added at the end. Then I'm going to play the whole entire bridge for you. Now I'll play the whole bridge for you, and at the bottom of the screen, I'll put exactly where I'm at so you don't get lost. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that it really helped you guys out. Like I said earlier, if you want to go over to Instagram and give me a follow so that way you can keep up to date on all this content, go ahead and do that. Also, if you like this video and learned something new, leave a thumbs up, leave any comments or suggestions you have for the channel down below in the comment section, and subscribe if you're interested in more content like you saw in the video today in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.